Welcome back to the next episode of Coffee and Clocks. I'm your host, Omar from the Real Estate Group. On my side here, I've got Tom Cassidy, also from the Real Estate Group. And today's guest is going to be the man, the myth, the legend, Joseph Harris.
How you doing?
Well, first of all, thanks for providing the coffee for today.
Dunkin' Donuts, yeah.
Do you pre-grind your Dunkin', Joe?
I do not pre-grind. I'm not that classy.
Awesome.
I just buy it ground up.
Awesome.
Well, it tastes like home for me. So, Joe, how do you like to drink your coffee?
Cream and Splenda.
Cream and Splenda.
Cream and
I
Splenda.
like chemicals. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for sitting down with us. We appreciate it. I know you a little bit. Omar knows you significantly more. Mm-hmm. How did you guys meet each other?
We have a lot of common friends.
Yeah, we do.
We've bumped heads down at the shore a couple times when we're like hanging out with common friend circles.
I heard you guys like to wear the same things.
We do.
Like you shop in the same closet.
Yeah, American flag tank tops. We're big on matching that.
Yes, we're famous for who wore it betters. We always go for like the tighter T-shirt contests.
It's like a thunder and lightning.
Like fire and ice. Ultimately, I think where the friendship really grew legs and gained traction was through COVID. When back in March of 2020, when everything was shut down and nobody was going to work and the whole world seemed like it was flipped upside down, in our neighborhood here, we started doing neighborhood bar crawls. And
yeah, I can't believe how much this neighborhood came together. Of all the people that we're close friends with, I moved in just a little bit before everybody else, and it didn't seem like there was that sense of community here. And that is absolutely the silver lining for me with the COVID. I mean, Of course, it's a horrible thing, but
sure,
it brought all these people together, and I have what I believe to be lifelong friends just because of the fact of us getting so close over the pandemic.
it's like the rarity and the beauty of seeing like a star being born. Is the best way that I could describe it. It's
like
just,
a rhino from Ace Ventura 2. Like something like that. Getting hot in these rhinos.
Joe, tell us about yourself. You're a business owner in the area. You've got a few businesses that you own locally. We always like promoting and really getting to know our neighbors and to be able to support their businesses. So tell us, what do you do?
Currently I own Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa, and that's in Glassboro. Right next door is Cherry Blow Dry Bar, which is now a full-service salon. So I own that with both of them, of course, with my wife. But we took on a partner, my friend Vicky, who I've known for 30 years now, who's got a lot of experience in the hair industry. So she came on as a partner about 8 months ago, and it's a complete turnaround of that business. It's just we're doing phenomenal now with her there, and Hand and Stone's been knocking it out of the park since we got involved back in 2013. It's a great business to have.
And I've got to give a shameless plug. I'm a regular client at Hand and Stone, and it's fantastic.
Cool.
I love deep tissue massages, and a couple of the massage therapists there really just do a killer job.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm also a client at the blow jar bar. A few blowouts.
He's on the express package.
I got a stamp card. So somebody that's actually done it and has operated businesses, like, where did you start at? Like, what was the first thing your first entrepreneurial experience?
Well, that would be my DJ business. I started that back in 1985. I was 15 years old. And it was my sister's graduation party. And my father, who has just been such an unbelievable influence in my life, my mother and father, but my dad, he was a naval architect. And he had us, relatively young, me and my two sisters. And he has an entrepreneurial spirit as well, but he, locked himself into a career and had to continue to make money to raise the family. And he did a great job of that. But always had that spirit that he wanted to open up a business himself, start a business himself. And he did have properties, and he was an entrepreneur of sorts. But he instilled in me why make somebody else $1 million and make yourself thousands of dollars when you can make $1 million yourself?
Sure.
And that just stuck with me throughout my entire life. So it was my dad's idea to start a DJ business, for me to start my own DJ business.
And how old were you at this point?
15.
15.
Yeah, 15. And it was my sister's graduation party. And my dad, instead of just going out and buying me equipment, he did spot me some money for turntables, and we had some records already. We purchased some records. And when I say spotted me money, he created a payment plan where I would pay him back from each job.
It wasn't a gift. He made your work.
So he was loan sharking.
Yeah, he was. He was.
I mean, let's call it what it
the
is.
interest rate was like 20-something%.
20 boxes is easy.
But he easily could have afforded to buy me all the equipment I wanted. But I was always raised to be responsible. So early on, I whenever I would do a DJ job, whether it was my sister's job, and then all of a sudden her friends all started hiring me to DJ their parties, I would rent equipment to do the DJ jobs, and then I would pay my dad a small portion back to repay him for the equipment that he purchased.
You had to run a business.
What's that?
He taught you how to run a straight up business.
He taught me how to run a business, not to be given something, but he didn't
create.
give me a fish. He taught me how to fish.
He taught you how to create.
Taught me how to create. And I also got involved in real estate. So I purchased my grandfather's house back when I was 21 in Wildwood. It was a triplex.
Okay.
I started managing the property, I guess probably when I was closer to 19, and it was just time to sell. My grandfather was older and moved down to Florida, and the opportunity came to purchase it, which is what I did. And throughout the years of owning the property, I had a lot of fun down there. My friends all came down, and I rented 2 of the units out and got some rental income from that. But I learned a little bit about home remodeling,
Okay.
repairs, handyman type stuff. I sided the house, I built a deck, and I would just pick up little things here or there. And that I think was the genesis of my involvement in real estate.
Okay. So tell me about the home remodeling business.
When I sold the Wildwood property, I made a pretty substantial income on that, pretty good return, and I purchased a condo.
Okay.
With that, and then long story short, I've purchased several properties. I've done a couple flips, and I'm holding a few properties as well, and doing very well with it. My home remodeling business, I had that for about 20 years, and that sort of evolved into really just doing my own thing, buying properties, doing some flips, holding properties. And I still have all my tools, and I still have all my equipment in my truck, and still do work on my own house, and waiting for the market to pick up and pick up some more properties.
Wonderful.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
So obviously, we're here to talk about timepieces and the stories that are behind them, as well as to get to know about the people that are wearing them, and not for sake of throwing a cliche out there, but what makes them tick. So that's what we're going to be doing here today. So you're let's start with this guy right here.
Okay. This would be my Breitling. It's Chronomat 44.
Okay.
And I think it's a beautiful watch. Has some special meaning to me. So I have an uncle who had passed away. This is about 8 years ago.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a loss. He was pretty much the patriarch of my mother's side of the family, my Uncle Benny. And when he had passed, he had left some money that was designated for me and my sisters, my parents, things of that nature. And my parents had said to me, get something with this money that will remind you of your Uncle Ben. And every day that I put this watch on, every time I feel it on my wrist, I do think of my Uncle Benny. And it's, I personally think it's a beautiful piece.
So I'm interested in the uncle. Like, what was his, tell me more about him, his life, what he did.
Yeah, so, unfortunately, I didn't see as much of my Uncle Benny as I would have liked. He lived out in Virginia.
Okay.
And he never had any children, but he was very successful. He was a mail carrier, but invested very well. And when we used to go down to visit him in Virginia, we would drive over a bridge, and the story was that was his bridge, that he owned the bridge.
Oh, wow.
Apparently he was a big investor in the bridge. I don't know exactly how that worked, but he just invested his money very well. Mm-hmm. He was very well respected in our family. He was he came up during the Great Depression with my grandmother and her sisters and my Uncle Ben, and he kind of took care of the family back in those days, and just, everybody loved him, and I loved him as well. I wish I would have known him better. I wish I would have known more stories about him, but I have to watch.
It seems like his role in your family was a pretty substantial and influential one, even though that, like you said, you didn't really get the opportunity to know him to the depth and degree that you would have liked to. Could you go back and do it all over again? But it seems that, he may have been a little bit of a beacon as an influence, I'm assuming earlier on in your more, formative years. I mean, a lot of what you're saying about him reminds me of aspects of how I know you to be.
Yeah, so I think a lot of the influence that he had was maybe more on my mother and father, who knew him really, really well. And I think he probably instilled some values in them, and they looked up to him to some degree, and that was passed on to me through my parents. Is
Definitely.
the way I like to look at it.
That whole vicarious route.
Yeah.
So looking at this watch, when you picked it out, what made you like? So there's nothing like your Uncle Benny didn't leave you the watch. He left you the money to get him something for it. So when you actually went to go look for it, what are the things you were looking for in the watch that kind of drew you to it?
Wow, that's a good question. I again, it's a Breitling. I've always been kind of drawn to Breitling. I think it's a masculine watch. It's a heavy watch. It's substantial. It has some weight to it. And what drew me to this particular watch, it's a again Chronomat 44. It's got a beautiful large bezel to it, but really the mother of pearl face on the watch I think is beautiful.
It's a classy look.
I think it is a classy look, yeah. And I can wear this watch with anything. But also the Roman numerals. I understand that this combination is a relatively rare combination for this watch. But I just like it. You see something, you don't really need a whole...
good, yeah.
One of my favorite things in that design too is the subdials. I love a watch with the subdials, and not that I sit there and I'm using the Chronomat feature on it, timing random things, but there's something just eye-catching about it. The majority of the watches in my collection all have that feature. I'm a huge fan of them. Same thing with the Roman numerals. It's a beautiful piece.
Thank you.
Beautiful piece.
Yeah, I love
Now,
it.
is this your everyday wear? You wear this every day?
Pretty much.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty much every day. It's really the only watch I wear on a regular basis.
Looking at the close-ups on it, it does have a lot of really cool like patina to it. So like a lot of the stories, like you'll see like the wear on it that it's loved and it's worn all the time. But a lot of the watch probably has some really cool stories that it could share and all the places you've been. So
it's seen a lot.
Now, by any chance, when you purchased the watch, did the jeweler happen to give you any insight as to the previous owner?
No, but I have all the paperwork on it, and it was
he died. He died with it on his
Wearing
wrist.
the watch.
He died with it on his wrist.
It might be haunted. I don't know. But the watch was in absolutely perfect condition, and it had a leather band on it.
Okay.
And I knew that I wanted the steel bracelet, so I purchased the bracelet for it, and actually they kept the band, which I wish I would have gotten because I could have changed it out.
The mother of pearl looks good on everything. You can put any kind of strap on there and it'll look
I think so, yeah.
Omar likes the strap-ons.
Cat's out of the bag now.
So yes, I could put any kind of strap on it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
You said strap on again. All right, Joe. So tell us about this other guy laying over here.
Yeah. So this is my Movado. This is the first watch I've ever had of any real value. This holds a sentimental place in my heart because this is, it's definitely a dated timepiece here. But back in like the late 80s, early 90s, I mean, everyone.
It was a hot watch to have.
Yeah, it was a hot watch to have.
That's the first expensive watch I remember people owning. Like I could tangibly touch. Like everybody's talking about like Rolex, but like in my family, that was the first attainable watch that somebody could have.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Like I never even expected to get a Rolex or even a Breitling, which I didn't even know what Breitling was at that time.
No, but like Movado was the name.
Yeah,
like, you saw it, you were like, and you knew immediately because of the one at the embassy at the 12 o'clock.
Yeah. It is a distinctive look that Movado has. It's a signature piece to have that at 12 o'clock. So I love this watch, and I'm going back to, I probably was like back in college, possibly, or just out of college. So it was late 80s, early 90s, and at that age, what do? You go to the mall every weekend, right? Cruise around the mall. But I used to walk into a jewelry shop, might have been K Jewelers, I don't really remember, and I would look at this watch all the time, just kind of stare at it. So probably after going in there half a dozen times, one of the salespeople came up to me and just,
kicked you out of the store.
Asked
Like
if you were
that
wearing
sleeve.
Jacquard Noir.
And I absolutely was wearing Jacquard and probably
Is that
Corniche
out now?
jeans.
Is that out? Maybe
Cover jeans.
Z-calves. Did you have the big flat buckle?
Probably. Yeah, and I probably did the tuck and roll at the bottom
Yeah.
too, which is back in again,
It's
by
in.
the way. Yeah, it's
back.
It's back.
It's back.
Watch out, ladies.
Maybe the Movado will be back too.
Someday. It all comes around.
So
So you go into K.
I go into K, yeah, and the jewelers just ask me questions, and I say, no, I couldn't afford this at that time. So he gives me his card, and he writes the model number on the back of the card, and put it in my pocket. At the end of the night, not thinking anything, I pull the card out of my pocket, put it on my dresser, and then go to bed. And that was it. Didn't think much about it. And several months later, Christmas rolls around, and I open up my Christmas present for my parents, and here it is. This is the watch. And why that has such special meaning is apparently my mom didn't know what to get me. She saw the business card there. She saw the model number. And, my parents didn't spend a whole lot of money. We weren't spoiled by any means. It didn't spend a lot of money. So this was way over, the budget for a Christmas present. But my mom apparently felt that I must have really liked it if I had it on the business card. So this was probably the biggest surprise I ever got as a Christmas present.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's not even so much about the monetary value, at that time, how much that meant, but it was just the thought for my mother to go through the effort and just the thought to buy this for me.
That's awesome.
So
man.
I will never, I'll never part with this. I'll never.
That's such a cool story for
So,
it.
not that anyone would want to buy it, but
It's coming back around. It's coming back around.
this and the Cavaricis, right? And
They
the
give them
tuck and
out
roll.
free with every Fiero. As you pop the T-tops, you make sure to bling the watch.
I guess it's good that you got rid of the Spencer gift card that you had in your wallet too. Otherwise, you might have wound up with some clock that a chicken clock that sings songs for you. So it's a thoughtful gift that you're never ever going to get rid of. And there's no monetary value, besides the actual monetary value to it. But like to you, it's worth so much more.
There's that intrinsic value that just it's irreplaceable.
Yeah, it just has meaning to me. I don't really wear the watch. As a matter of fact, I've even.
That's
My hands got fat. It still fits.
Packed on a few
my
LBs
wrist,
since then, huh?
Well, my knuckles got bigger, but my wrist is still nice and dainty. And
it's a great dress watch too. Like
Yeah,
it still
it
looks
is.
good. It still looks really good.
I'm gonna start wearing it.
It's slim, which is great for like nighttime outfits.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you've got something that's a little more fitted, these more slender watches are perfect for that.
Yeah, it feels so much. I mean, the weight.
That's a
is-
heavy watch.
Yeah, it is.
Breitlings they're like weights on your arm.
Yeah, they are. And but I like that. I like to know
Maybe that's
that
how
I
the
have.
wrist got so big now.
It's been the constant
He's been
workout.
constantly working out.
Yeah.
All right, so something we like to do, we like to ask rapid fire random questions.
Great.
So what we're going to do, I've got a question for you. So you're a business owner. What is the toughest thing right now as far as owning a business?
The hardest thing is dealing with a lot of personalities.
Okay.
I guess we've got somewhere in the ballpark of 30 employees, and they're all great. But managing different people's expectations and wants and needs can be very challenging.
And now, is it tough to find people to work in this post-COVID world that we're living in?
Luckily, it is. It is.
Okay.
But luckily, I don't think it's as hard on us as it is on other businesses. One thing, it's always a challenge to find good massage therapists. There's definitely a shortage of massage therapists out there. The schools are only graduating so many people per year, and this industry has just been booming over the last 10, 15 years.
How does somebody get started if they want? If somebody does want to do this, what's the best way for them to get started into a career? You can make this a career, right?
Absolutely, you can make it a career. I'm so glad you asked that. That's a really good question. So in the past, in the state of New Jersey, you have to go to school, roughly 6-8 months of schooling, Then you have to take your test and get registered with the state, certified. Just recently, something revolutionary has happened, which we partnered with a business called Empower, which allows us to train massage therapists on location. So it's partially online training and partially in the spa.
So someone can go into your location in Glassboro and start their certification to become a licensed massage therapist.
Yeah, they start the training, and there's a state test that has to be taken and passed, and then they're licensed with the state. But before that comes the generating the interest in becoming a massage therapist.
Sure.
People probably don't know how lucrative that industry can be. A good massage.
No, I was gonna say like, that's perfect to know because everybody's looking for like the next spot to be at.
Yeah.
So like if you're looking for something like follow your dreams.
Yeah. So what would be some of like the pros to someone? Let's say, you're inside a major college town, right by Rowan University.
Yeah.
One of the things that I see is that all these kids with the college degrees that are just stuck without work, or they want the flexibility to travel, or maybe they just don't want to work a lot of hours because they're not sure what it is that they want to do. I'm just seeing like the newer generations that are not really looking to work like the schedules that you and I grew up putting in 60, 70, 80 hours a week, but are looking for more flexible things where they can still make a good amount of money, for the time that they're doing. Traditionally it was waitressing, bartending, things like that. So what would be the draw for someone to become a massage therapist?
Well, you can go a couple different ways with that. You can talk about somebody who's looking at it as a second career, or not liking what they're doing, and changing their career. Or you can look at somebody that's maybe coming right out of high school, that is not really college bound, and maybe they want to go to learn to be a mechanic. Maybe they want to go to beauty school. There's a lot of different options that don't lead you down the college path.
Which, as we go further into life, like a college path seems to be less and less traveled, and there's a lot of money to be made in other paths. So.
Yeah, well, and then getting back to the money that can be made as a massage therapist, I just did an analysis for one of our massage therapists who are doing it right. They're making it their business within the business, and they're guiding their clients towards getting the right type of treatment that they need. With gratuity, with tip, you can make anywhere $50-$60 an hour. And that's, working a schedule that you choose. I mean, we're pretty flexible with our schedule. So there's good money to be made. I mean, if you were to expand that out to a 40-hour work week, that's $110,000 a year that you can make as a massage therapist.
What's the length of time it takes from start to finish, from day one of signing up for the program till you're licensed and ready to operate?
Our program in the spa is roughly 6 months. There's some different variations on the program, and you learn right there. And the cost is minimal. As a matter of fact, we're working out a scholarship program for people who are looking to become a massage therapist. There's tuition reimbursement, scholarships for people that want to train right at our location. They're pretty much guaranteed a job. And
what is the cost of the program without any grants or scholarships compare to like a 4-year college degree?
Oh gosh. Well, depends what college they're going to. We all know, college, 4 years of college could be as low as 50, 60,000 or as high as
low as
300,000.
Yeah,
right.
As low as 60.
Maybe 20 years ago.
60,000, yeah. So that's college. That's the college path. For massage, there's different schools in the area that charge a different amount. So range is somewhere in the ballpark of $10,000, $12,000. And with the Empower program that we're partnered with, it's roughly $6,000.
Wow.
For that. And again, we will offer tuition reimbursement and scholarships for that.
So something cool for anybody that is seeing this that would like to know. I'm going to get the link from Joe, and we'll make sure that we link it in the bottom down here for you. That way, if you are interested, you reach right out to Joe.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's
great career
contact
path.
me directly. So.
And it's a great thing to do on the side. We have people that work full-time jobs. They come, they work, they do 5-10 massages a week on the side to make really good money. But you have to be somebody who loves what you do. You can't fake being a massage therapist. You can't just go through the motions. You have to want to help people. It is work, and you have to want to help people.
You also can't have dainty hands, right?
Yeah, well, if this watch fits you, you can't be a massage therapist.
Guess I'm out. Okay, so next question. It sounds like you've done a lot of things that you seem to be going where life has been taking you.
Yeah.
Your dream job, what would it be? Have you done it, or is it yet to come?
So I have a major case of ADHD. So my dream job is multiple jobs, which is what I've been doing my whole life, doing a lot of different things. I do really love what I'm doing right now, but my passion and my wife Kelly's passion is real estate.
Okay.
I do love real estate. We're we're still looking to invest in other properties. We actually just recently invested in land in Florida, right outside of Disney World, and
I heard the value's okay there. It's gonna hold value there.
it's all right. It's all right. Yeah. So the value's good there, but our dream is to develop properties in desirable places throughout the country for vacations and use Vrbo, Airbnb, rent those out, and my daughter, you obviously know Layla, so she's disabled, and traveling with her has been a real challenge, as it is for anyone with any type of disabilities. There's special equipment that she needs, special chairs, different types of wheelchairs, blenders, things of that nature. So our goal is to develop ADA compliant properties that can make it really easy for somebody either with a disabled child, disabled parent, anybody that's disabled, to be able to go on vacation and do it affordably and easily.
That's amazing. Does anything like that even exist right now?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, sure, there's ADA compliant homes and businesses, but I don't know that anyone's like gearing towards that.
They just barely meet minimal requirements.
Yeah, again, the truth is I really don't know. I know my agent that I'm dealing with, he in the development that I'm purchasing and looking to develop, he's unaware of anyone that's advertising their homes as ADA compliant. So that's
going to be carving out a very unique niche, to say the
least. It's a must-needed niche too. Because
yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people are dealing with it, and it doesn't always get the press that you should. So when you're going on vacation, if you advertise that, I'm sure it would be very helpful to a lot of families. So got one last question for you, Joe.
Yeah.
If you go back to when you talked to little Joe Harris, and you got to give him one piece of advice, or one piece of some kind of advice going forward.
Careful how you ask that question. Talking to little Joe Harris.
Little Joe. Why? But if you have to go back in time and you have to give yourself advice, what would be the piece of advice now after being successful in like everything you've done, all your experience? What's the one piece of advice you would give yourself?
Man, that's a hard question. But if I have to answer it right away, it would be not to be too hard on yourself.
Okay.
Some people are always trying to find yourself. What is it I should be doing with my life? And in my life, that question's changed. The answer to that question actually has changed. You evolve as a person. So it's maybe not really that important when you're 20, even 25, even 30, to really know what your path in life is.
Not pigeonhole yourself.
Yeah, not pigeonhole yourself, and be responsible, of course, but follow your passion. And I do believe that'll always lead you to the right path.
All right, well, it's been a pleasure, getting to know the inner layers of the famous Joe Harris. Am
I more like an onion or parfait?
An onion parfait, which is nothing worse.
You're parfait with a side of onion.
Okay, all right, I'll take it.
I mean, everybody loves parfait. Who doesn't love Joe Harris?
Haven't met them yet.
Entrepreneur, philanthropist, playboy, businessman,
family man,
wisdom giver of life.
It's been a pleasure, Joe. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
Appreciate it, man.
After getting to know you on a deeper level,
Great. Thank you.
Having coffee and learning about your watches.
You want to say something dirty, just say it.